Deliver Us the Moon is a sci-fi thriller set in the near future close to the fall of man. The trailer for this title promises us intense cinematics, diverse puzzles, and strong storytelling. Hey guys, I'm Obi with Obi Gaming, and in today's video we will be looking at and doing a review of Deliver Us the Moon. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to be the first to see our weekly content that comes out every Friday. How many times have you watched a movie trailer and excitedly sat down with a spouse or friend, spent a couple of hours only to be left with a feeling of emptiness and more questions than answers? For me, this happens quite frequently. Maybe it's because I've watched so many movies throughout my lifetime, or it could be just chalked up to bad storytelling. Whatever the reason is, there's nothing worse than watching a trailer for something, whether it's a movie or a video game, and to be let down by the final product. The point that I'm trying to get across here is that Deliver Us the Moon has an amazing trailer, with intense action, bone-chilling music, and it leaves you with just enough information to have you wanting to get your hands on this title and see what it's all about. Ultimately, the final product is just like the movie trailers I mentioned before, riddled with a cinematic build, but really lets you down. Now, to explain what I'm talking about, let's take a look at the story, gameplay, and the overall sound design. So the story will capture any sci-fi enthusiast right from the get-go. Deliver Us the Moon is set about 10 years from our present time. Humanity has drained Earth of all of its natural resources, leaving our home nothing more than a dusty, barren rock. In an extreme effort to preserve mankind, the World Space Agency, who discovered an alternate natural resource on the moon, set out to colonize the white rock, and for many years, humanity was again able to flourish and live on. However, humanity would soon be facing another crisis when all communications to the lunar colony goes dark. Now, without Earth's new power source, it's up to you to make your way to the moon, find out what happened, and return the flow of power to Earth. Upon arrival to Earth's celestial satellite, you'll quickly realize that something's amiss. The once busy colony is a ghost of its former self. Most areas are shut down and completely devoid of any life. At this point in the story, you'll most likely be pulled in, but this is where things slow down a bit. For the rest of the story, you'll be relying on visual cues and other simple stimuli to piece the puzzle back together. Ultimately, the storytelling in this title is its best feature. The game gives you just enough information to keep you asking questions and the need to push forward. Most of the major narrative will be given to you in short holograms where you will relive the moments leading up to the overall disaster. I must say, overall, I'm very pleased with the story and the way it's delivered. There are a few heartfelt moments that will stick in your thoughts as you make your way through this title, but the biggest letdown is its ending. The game ends at the drop of a dime, and this left me frustrated and confused. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video on your social media, as it helps us grow and reach a broader audience, and we really do appreciate it. Let's move on to visuals and gameplay. Right from the get-go, you will realize this is not a AAA title. Smaller things like pictures or notes are really blurry when looking at them, forcing you to use the read mechanic the game has to offer. Even things like branding on packages or food are really pixelated and are just a blurry mess. But if you're like me, you'll push forward, keeping in mind that this is not a major game developer. So just like the story aspect of this title, the game has an amazing build-up to gameplay. As soon as you begin, you must memorize the startup sequence to a rocket and quickly make your way to the ship. After following the launch procedure, the rocket takes off in a blast, and off to the moon you go.
Rocket boosters, ignition start. Engines ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, start 1. We have liftoff!
This is probably one of the most memorable portions of the entire game. However, I would like to point out that the land masses on Earth are, again, extremely pixelated, and it looks like they use the same model that was supposed to be seen from a great distance. Upon arrival, the support and gravitational systems are offline, and this is where the best gameplay mechanics can be found. At this point, the game will be entirely in first person. You must maneuver around on borrowed time, trying to find power sources to restore the system that allows the colony to sustain life. While doing so, you must keep an eye on your oxygen meter, and it's constantly falling. What's really amazing about this is the feeling of being in zero G. You must spin your character and fit into tiny gaps while working your way through the small labyrinth. For me, this was probably one of the best parts of gameplay, but it's very short-lived. After restoring the basic functions of the station, the game transfers into third person, and this for me was a big mistake in gameplay design. Not only did it lose some of its immersion, but the overall design of your character movements are very clunky and not grounded. One of the biggest disappointments in this title is the game's puzzles. Most of the puzzles require you to move a power source from one spot to another, and once new puzzles are introduced, they become very repetitive. Occasionally you'll have to use a laser to cut your way into something, or use your ASE companion to move through small obstacles to unlock a door from the other side. If you have ever played any other puzzle game before, then no puzzle in this game will surprise you. You might occasionally stumble across a locked door that requires a 4-digit access code. Well, just look around for a note and you will soon have access. But for the most part, all of the puzzles are predictable and repetitive. The hardest time I had while playing Deliver Us the Moon was was just getting lost during the beginning sections of the game, and this is only due to how similar everything looks. Eventually you will find yourself on the surface of the moon, and while I did find these moments more interesting than others, again they were short-lived and offered little to mix up gameplay. Gameplay aside, the game is visually appealing, but it's not anything I would find myself drooling over. Finally, let's talk about sound. Now this part is short, so please just stick with me. While the sound is not terrible, there's something left to be desired. The voice acting is subpar and feels out of place at times, and one of the biggest letdowns was the lack of respiration sounds when out on the lunar surface. The best part of sound design, however, is in its soundtrack. Deliver Us the Moon has an overwhelming sense of isolation, and the amazing soundtrack does a great job driving this feeling home. Overall, Deliver Us the Moon is not what I expected after watching this title's trailer. Almost every intense cinematic part of the game can be found in the trailer, and while the trailer does a great job of getting me interested, the game failed to really keep me involved. The storytelling is compelling, but it's nothing to write home about. The title's puzzles are overly simplistic, and the game has too many visual and sound hiccups. Currently, the game runs about $25 to $30 depending on your preferred media outlet. However, I would recommend waiting for a sale to pick this title up. You can instead play this game for free if you have Xbox Game Pass. While I wouldn't say this is a terrible game, I would really only pick up this game if you're looking to waste a few hours. I will say, however, that the story did leave us with a major cliffhanger, and while this short 4 to 6 hour game did fail to live up to its potential, I'm really hoping this is just a precursor for something larger. Well guys, that's all I have for this review of Deliver Us the Moon. Now I want to know, was this a game you were interested in picking up? Have you already played Deliver Us the Moon? And if so, what did you think of this title? Let me know in the comments below. Hey guys, before I let you go, I did want to tell you that you can join us on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord by clicking the links in the description below. Until next time, this is Obi, signing out. See you guys next time.